It's a Mac app. It's available via Squares TV, not the App Store, and it connects to Shoot and Video Pencil camera on the Mac. So when I used to do a podcast every week, well, at one point I was doing 2 podcasts every week, I found myself with quite a complex production. And I had a load of different OBS scenes, a load of different Ecamm Live scenes. And I was sort of trying to present the show and interview people whilst kind of remembering which scene I had to go to. I had titles, I had graphics, I had all this kind of thing. And I just wanted something where I could go next and it would sort of help me along. And that's what BeatSheet is. So if I just load up BeatSheet. So this is what the podcast production looked like. This is BeatSheet over here. So it's just a sort of really simple text-based sequence. But each of these, let's sort of zoom in even further. Each of these, this is when I'm using it with Ecamm Live. Each of these is an Ecamm Live scene. So you see that maps to my Ecamm Live scene there. So what I'm then able to do is step through, just go next, and it's going to take me to the right sequence. So as I press play, we're going to see here's the title sequence. And then when we go next here, now it's me and then my co-host here and our overlays for the intro, and there's some background music playing. So this is like the intro, outro talking. So we've got some background music going. This is my teleprompter window. This is just a window that I can freely drag into my teleprompter screen on top of, and I've got it on my screen right now so that I know what to say to you. And this just sort of like puts whatever's over here. And so if I've got like an intro that I have to remember, or if I've got, just some stuff that I want to remind myself of, then that just goes into the teleprompter. Or sometimes if I'm doing video scripts, I'll use it for the script of the video and I'll iterate on that. I'll do a take, I'll iterate, I'll do another take, and I'll keep just tweaking it as I go. And that'll just kind of be synchronized with the teleprompter. Then as we keep going, I've got like a title sequence, and then we'd come into another segment, which was us just talking, and now the music's faded out. And then I had these little sort of music breaks. So I'd sort of capture some little videos each week and just had some music that I'd made. And we'd have like a little break every few minutes just to sort of break up the conversation a little bit. So I'd sort of throw those clips in before the show, and then I'd just be able to go into the breaks like that and sort of see what's been going on. And just basically sort of, I know I can run the show, but I'm not constantly having to sort of remember what function key to press next and all that kind of thing. And then, so for stuff like the outro, like just make sure that I don't forget to like plug the new podcast, mention Patreon, ask Ivanka where we can find her, like talk about this and that, and just sort of all those things that it's really easy to forget what you've got to do at the end of each show. So that's how I used it. That was sort of like how I built it to run the podcast. And then this, of course, the next previous buttons, I've got my Stream Deck, or actually now I've got a little Stream Deck foot pedal. So I just hit the middle pedal and I go to my next item in the agenda. So that all fits in with that. This was with Ecamm Live, but I've also made it work with OBS. And seeing this QLab, I've spotted a design pattern for doing some more stuff. So what I'm doing today is in Video Pencil, I'm loading in videos, and I've got those all queued up, but I'd quite like to be able to sort of like queue up the video within Video Pencil as I go next. And maybe so that's sort of on the roadmap for me. And other just things to make it easy to sort of like not have to remember what button to press while I'm trying to present something. So that's how it works in a podcast. That's the sort of like linear sequence thing. I also added into that the ability to add in titles. So this is something also I wanted to show. So this I had to implement. I had to do some work to make this happen. When you're searching your computer for your BeatSheet documents, it gives you like a little preview of what's in there. And and then if you hit it, then you can sort of quick click those and that works. So you can actually find what you're looking for. And so if I show you now a BeatSheet titles demo, and now you see some of these have titles. And what happens when we press play is we get an NDI feed. So now within Ecamm Live or OBS or wherever else is on your network, we're going to see the title come in down here. So in this case, this title came here because down here, this is set to like lower third title. And so that sort of means you can get away from that whole green screen keynote. And then as we go through, I can sort of like top and tail. So as you see me go through today, you'll see that I've got all my titles that come through, and that's all being driven by my BeatSheet thing as well. And that's coming in over NDI. And then one other thing I wanted to do as well as that was also be able to sort of really get away from the Keynote thing. So say here I've got a PNG file. I can just drag that onto a row in BeatSheet. And then when I play that, that's now going to come up within my feed as well. So I can just do a simple graphic, and I can even export a whole deck from Keynote and just get those as transparent images and just be able to have those within BeatSheet and have that synchronized. And when I've done that in the past, I had like a Stream Deck macro that would send Keynote forward and send BeatSheet forward. And obviously they get out of sync and it's a bit of a pain. So I just wanted something that was a lot more robust and it's not obviously as fully featured as Keynote, but if you have created a slide and it has a transparent background, it's pretty trivial to add that in. And you just get a rudimentary transition. It just fades in and out. And you can set which side. So that's what's happening here. I'm just sort of saying which side that's going to go on. And yeah, that's where you can edit the titles as well. You can just go through a show like that and put my link at the bottom. So some of it, so I can edit it if it's text, or if it's not, then, it's just quite handy to be able to have those graphics. So that's basically a whirlwind tour of BeatSheet. And then just one more thing I wanted to mention, which is why I'm showing my desktop, which is that if you are using Video Pencil Camera, it will automatically overlay any BeatSheet titles into your Video Pencil Camera. So if we added a title here, then we would see that. Wait, that's Ecamm. If I can find my Video Pencil Camera window and come to this segment. I think it's not doing it because it's Ecamm, but if I switch it to USB video, we should see the title come through. Yeah, so you see the title just automatically gets put into Video Pencil Camera, where Video Pencil Camera is my tool for just giving you, with the least effort possible, a connection to your iPad when you're using Video Pencil. You use it with BeatSheet as well, and you're just going to get a virtual camera that you can use in Zoom and sort of do quite a lot without having to fire up Ecamm Live, without having to fire up OBS. So that's BeatSheet. So I literally Googled this morning just to see, because it does require connecting with an API. I checked Mimo Live's API, anticipating just this question, and it is definitely something that's on the roadmap. You can use the titles in Mimo Live, that's already supported, but for controlling playback, for being able to select scenes, then that would be something I'd have to add in. So that's what I'm talking about, really. It also has Siphon, so you don't even need NDI, it'll just send a Siphon output as well. If you go to squares.tv, there's sort of three, there's Shoot, Video Pencil, BeatSheet. So if you go there, squares.tv/BeatSheet, then you'll see all those tutorials, and it's got its own YouTube channel. Video Pencil has its own YouTube channel. Shoot has its own YouTube channel, so you can find all the stuff that way.